the goal of this exploration is to maintain a high degree of adduction or closure between the vocal folds as we ascend in pitch. The folds come together in two discrete actions. The first is that the vocal folds themselves tense, and that tenses the muscles that make up the vocal fold body, the sort of tissue of the fold, and that causes a little bulge, and that bulge closes off the airway and brings the folds close enough to start vibrating. The second action is the action of the lateral cricoarytenoids, which causes the back end, the posterior end of the vocal folds, to approximate and get a little closer together, which also helps seal off the airway. If we start with a high degree of adduction, typically low in the range, and slide up, we should be able to slide up fairly cleanly and consistently. There shouldn't be any sign of sort of disjointed or disjunct kind of quality, no sign of disconnection, and especially what we're listening for are sounds that sound like a yodel or a bifurcation in the sound, which sounds like this. So what you probably can hear in the difference between those two sounds is the first is a really nice, smooth gradation upwards. And the second has a big kind of like flip. And it skips a lot of notes. Our goal is to find where that skip wants to happen, because what will start to appear is a kind of little yodeling effect. Like that. Now, the distinction here is that the yodel is indicating that second kind of closure is falling away. The cartilages that close the folds, those LCAs, the lateral cricoarytenoid muscles, stop engaging and they give up. Sometimes because the fold mass is stretching out too far, the muscles themselves get tired, can't withstand the sort of pressurization that is happening at the level of the glottis. And so for whatever reason, they're just not acclimated to that high degree of engagement. Well, we need them to be. So the way to find that is to start low, slide up, and I get to live in that kind of uncomfortable, yodely space. And I kind of think of it as like two sides of a fence. And I want to stay on this side of the fence. If I allow it to go over here, then at the end of the day, it sounds really light, but no matter what I do to achieve size change, hey, two things will always be present. You'll always hear some substantial amount, or maybe less than substantial amount of air leak in the sound, and also a kind of underfull quality in the sound. So no matter what happens, those are going to be present. So instead, I need to get just that last little bit of engagement to make sure that my folds stay sealed. You can hear the difference between this sound, where the folds are open at the posterior end, and then this sound where they are achieving a higher degree of closure. What you will do is slowly slide up, listen for where that yodel wants to happen, and hang out there and stabilize the sound. You're going to let that yodel slowly go away, and you want to make sure that you're staying on the right side of the fence. So you don't want to yodel over and jump over into that disconnected sound. You want to stay, I want to stay here. I want to stay connected to the stuff that came below. And then, to further exercise that, I'm going to get lighter.
and as I get lighter, it's going to want to start yodeling again. And then my job is to stay as light as I can get while still staying connected and losing that yodel, slowly ironing out that yodeled behavior so that I can get smaller and smaller and smaller and find a fuller sound that matches this light weight. Now, over time, as you start to acclimate to that pitch you can climb, right? You can start at a higher pitch and do the same exploration, listening for where the yodel wants to happen, and then sustaining and getting softer and softer, quieter and quieter, and avoiding the yodel as much as you can.